Hello friend, welcome back to Acre Homestead. We are going to spend the day in the kitchen working on some super fun projects. We're going to make some ginger and turmeric shots. But before I get into the kitchen on this day, I needed to go around the homestead and collect some of the soil that I purchased that I put in my raised beds. And I'm going to ship this soil off to be tested so that I can be a more informed gardener. I have a lot more information to come on the soil test kit, but we're going to get this soil in our packet, get it sent off so that we can be a more informed gardener. But for now, we're going to head into the kitchen.
So before I go mail this off, you need to mail it off within the first 24 hours of doing it. I want to get this project going. We're going to make a ginger turmeric kind of like powerhouse drink that I love. Well, I've never made this before. I have purchased them many times at the airport for $3.99, so almost $4 for this drink. And I've always wanted to try to make it myself, so we're gonna attempt to make it today for a fraction of the cost. And we're gonna make some lunch today. It's kind of funny, we're gonna make this beautiful tonic drink out of ginger and turmeric. I was just on the phone earlier today with a greenhouse company and trying to research greenhouses and what the plan is for that. And I'm hoping that maybe next year we can grow a good amount of ginger and turmeric in a greenhouse if we're able to have a greenhouse out there by then. First thing I'm gonna do is wash this up. Now, I don't have a juicer. I have a juicer, but I never ever used it, and so I donated it when we moved. And if I had a juicer, I would use a juicer right now, but I was researching ways to make this tonic drink, and you don't need a juicer. There's another way to do it. So we're gonna try just using our blender. I wanted to try to get rid of the kitchen appliance type things that I'm not using. And right now I kind of wish I had it, but I honestly think that we'll be able to make this just as good in the blender. But I wanna scrub these really, really well because I'm not gonna peel them. So I'm gonna take my scrub brush. I run these through the dishwasher every time I use them, so it's nice and clean. And we're gonna scrub each one of these ginger roots, and I'm gonna break it apart if I need to. So say right here where they are overlapping and I wouldn't be able to get a scrub brush in there, I'm gonna break that so that I can scrub really well and I can make sure I'm getting everything really clean since we're not peeling it. And we're also gonna make some lunch. So we made some appetizers together. I'm gonna scrub them all and then I'll give them all a good rinse once I've scrubbed them all. Now that we got all this scrubbed up, I'm actually gonna get going on lunch before we start this project because that needs to cook and we can make this while our lunch cooks. What we're gonna make for lunch are chicken roll-ups. These are something that the first time I ever made this was in high school. We had home ec class at my high school, which I think is awesome, and I think more high schools should do that. And in my home ec class, all we did was cook. I had A days and B days in high school, and so on our A days, so every other day we had 4 classes, and so 3 times and then 2 times a week, 3 times and 2 times a week, I would cook something at school, and it was so fun. And we made this recipe I made this recipe for the first time in home ec, and it is one of my favorites. It's so good. It's something that I've never made this for Josh. I haven't made this since I was in high school. Or excuse me, I haven't made this since I was in college. I used to make it in college all the time. The reason I haven't made this in so long is because it uses canned crescent rolls, and I never buy those unless it's a very specific thing for a holiday usually, or I'm asked to make, you know, the pigs in a blanket or something like that for a baby shower, whatever it might be. But I just made some appetizers for a friend, and I bought my crescent rolls at Costco, and I have 2 cans left. So I'm gonna make one of my favorite recipes for Josh that I haven't made in a long time for lunch because I happen to have 2 cans of crescent rolls. So I'm adding chicken breast, diced, with some oil, salt and pepper, some garlic powder, homegrown garlic powder and homegrown onion powder in here. Life is all about balance, so we might be having store-bought crescent rolls in a can, but we're also making a ginger turmeric tonic today, so it's all about balance. I'm gonna preheat the oven, and while our chicken is cooking, our oven's preheating, we are gonna get going on our tonic. For this, we are gonna use a high-powered blender because we're not using a juicer. We need a high-powered blender. So that's what I have here. My washed ginger. I think what we should probably do is dice up the ginger and turmeric just a little bit. We are going to make these little tonics in 4-ounce mason jars, and I'm gonna freeze them. You can freeze in glass as long as you don't overfill it. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I am gonna get a knife out. I'm gonna make some that are just ginger and some that are ginger turmeric. So I'm gonna cut these in just some smaller chunks just so that the blender can handle it a little bit better. Oh my goodness, it smells so, so good. Here's our turmeric if you want to see the color of turmeric. It's so beautiful. Whoop. Turmeric can be very expensive to buy fresh turmeric at the grocery store. And I bought this online, so I can link where I got it if you are wanting to make this. I also have a recipe for fire cider, if you've ever heard of that. That's where you use a lot of ginger and turmeric and other yummy things in it. Cinnamon and red pepper and black pepper. This is not that. This is more of a fresh shot. It's kind of like a ginger turmeric shot or a ginger shot. And I am really looking forward to having this because I absolutely love the shots, the little ginger shots that I buy at the airport, but I just can't afford to have those on a regular basis. And this is a lot more affordable. So there was a little bit of a bad spot on one of those pieces of ginger, so I just cut that off. These have been in my refrigerator for a little while. It's taken me a little bit to get to this project. So if there is anything that looks suspicious, I'll just cut that off. The rest will be just fine. All right, that's the last of it. Now what I'm gonna do is add some lemon zest and lemon juice, fresh lemon zest and lemon juice to this. I just washed these lemons really, really well. We are gonna strain out this mixture. So I'm not zesting it for it to be small, it's just so that I can get the essential oils from this lemon into our ginger shot, hopefully.
I did the math on how much this would have cost me to purchase this amount of ginger shots at the store, and it would have cost me about $135, give or take, because at Walmart.com, when I was looking at them, they were $1.50 an ounce, and we end up making a ton. And I have, with the ginger, the turmeric, and the lemon, I'm all in about $25, give or take a few cents. And so this is way more affordable to make it, and I'm so glad that I did because I ended up getting a head cold the next week, and this came at the perfect time. I just thawed 2 of them out. They took about 20 minutes to thaw at room temperature, and then I would pop them in the fridge, and you'll see what size shots I make. Each one of the little containers is enough for 2 servings, I would say. And so this was perfect. It saved me over $100 if I was to go purchase this. And I'm sure the quality is even better making it at home. And when I looked at the ingredients on the ones you could purchase, they all had filtered water. So I do add filtered water. And I think that this is how the store-bought ones are made. And so I'm just so glad that I took the time to make this.
My chicken is fully cooked, and I diced this chicken pretty small, and you'll see why when we go to assemble these. I'm now gonna add 1 package of cream cheese. I probably, oh gosh, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make all this. I only have 2 cans of crescent rolls, and I don't know how much filling, because I don't have the actual recipe anymore. I need in order to fill that. I will write down basically what you need to do to make this down in the description box if you're interested in making this. It's so good. It's definitely a treat. This is a treat for me. So I turned the stove off because the chicken is fully cooked and nice and browned. I'm gonna add 1 package of cream cheese, and I'm just gonna let that sit. I'm gonna let the heat from the pan and the chicken melt that cream cheese just a little bit. And while that's melting, I need to go out into the garden. I'm looking for a knife. And we are gonna go harvest something from the garden to put into these rolls. I'm really excited about this. Let's see. I need shoes. These are chives the previous owner planted out here, and they came back. So we're gonna harvest these and we're gonna put this in our lunch today. They smell so good. This is officially the first thing I have harvested in 2023. Pretty exciting. They smell incredible. Chives are so easy to grow. If you're new to growing and you want to get some confidence under your belt, start with chives because they are so prolific. They come back year after year and they add just such a wonderful freshness to your food. I just rinsed my chives. So now that this sat for just a minute or so, the cream cheese is soft, so we can mix this in. Now I'm going to give this a taste test just to make sure we don't need to add any salt or pepper. Wow, that reminds me of high school and college. This was one of my go-to easy recipes. So let's get our croissants filled. So I have 2 cans here because I purchased these at Costco, and when I made those appetizers, the sausage roll-ups, or sausage pinwheels, I only used 4. So I have these leftovers, and I'm not gonna have them go to waste. So what you do is we're gonna make little rectangles. It's been so long since I've done this. Oh, and there's a nice hole in that one. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I'm gonna have this one be the bottom piece. Yep, so it takes, that's right, 4 of these croissants to make one. So we have enough to make 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to let's see. I need a bigger cookie sheet. So what I need to do is pinch these 2 triangles together to make a rectangle. So that is going to be the bottom. And we are going to get 4 of these little pockets. So I definitely have more filling than I need, I think. I guess I didn't need a bigger cookie sheet. Now what I'm going to do is take my chicken mixture, the filling, and we're going to put the filling on the inside of our little pocket. I definitely made way more filling than I needed, so I'm going to have to find something creative to use the rest of the filling. I could maybe turn it into a pasta dish or something. Now we're going to take our second roll of dough. We're going to top our little pocket, and we're going to bring the roll pastry up to seal the edge. there was some sort of topping on the top of these, and I cannot for the life of me remember what the original recipe said to top it with. So I am going to top it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I thought that that would add just a nice little cheesy goody bite to it. I'm excited to have Josh try this for the first time, because like I said, this was something I would, once I had my driver's license, because my mom did not buy crescent rolls growing up. So once I had my driver's license and I was in the mood, I would go run to the store, pick up some crescent rolls, and make these. And they are really good. So I'm kind of glad that I forgot to buy the crescent rolls at the grocery store for the exact amount I needed for that recipe, so that I had a good reason to go ahead and make these. I do want to, at some point in my life, learn how to make croissants, because that's basically what a crescent roll is it's a croissant from scratch. It's something that's on my list of things to learn how to do. It's just not something that I have done yet. Okay, so now I've got some really good quality, the best quality Parmesan cheese you can buy. And we're gonna top these cream cheese chicken roll-ups with this really high quality Parmesan cheese. And half of it is falling onto the parchment, so I'm gonna grate it and then I'll pick it up and I will stick that Parmesan cheese on top of these, because I don't want that Parmesan cheese to go to waste. I'm gonna flatten these out just a bit so that our Parmesan cheese does stick to the top of them. It is preheated. I'm gonna get these in here and they're gonna bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. I just put an apron on because turmeric stains, so just note that. So we are gonna make two different tonics here, or shots, or whatever you wanna call them. I'm not exactly sure what we would call them. And one's gonna be just ginger and lemon. So out of the 5 lemons I peeled, I'm gonna put 2 of them. I'm gonna put half the ginger and half, well, maybe 1/3 of the lemon zest. Now I'm gonna add some really high quality water. We have well water, so there's no chlorine or fluoride in it. I'm gonna start with 4 cups of water to that amount of ginger. We're gonna get the lid on. I did grab some more water here in case we need it. We're gonna put the lid on. I'm gonna turn this down and I'm gonna get this started.
I started it on low and then I continued to turn up my blender and let it just go for a minute or so.
Okay, we've got a beautiful, oh, this smells like the shots I like to buy at the airport. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. The only time I justify buying these little shot things is at the airport, because I figured I need an immune boost. But I want to have my own so that I can enjoy them whenever I want without being charged an arm and a leg. So what I have here is I have my fat separator. My chickens are right out the window. And I have a nut bag. So if you're gonna make nut milk, that's what this is. It's a very fine mesh. And we're gonna pour our mixture into this. I'm using my fat separator because it's got a nice spout. So we'll be able to pour our beautiful liquid into our jars. Look at that yellow color, that is stunning.
The reason I did not peel my ginger or turmeric is because I knew that I was going to be using this nut bag to strain out the liquid and the contents. Now, I was thinking, if I do this again, I could possibly, give me your thoughts on this, peel the ginger, and then I could strain it out like this, and then I could take that peeled ginger pulp and I could either dehydrate or freeze dry it, because that's basically what dehydrated ginger or turmeric is, right? It's just the remaining dried part of the plant. And then I would be getting both this beautiful ginger juice and dried ginger. Would it have all of the same ginger properties? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. I was thinking that while I was straining it, but at that point, all the skin and everything was in it, so I didn't I didn't want to save it. And I might not put the lemon juice in it if I was to do that. But tell me your thoughts on that. So once I strained out as much of that beautiful golden liquid as I could, I have these 4-ounce mason jars. I washed them in the dishwasher. We're not going to can this. I wanted to keep this raw to keep as many of the health benefits as possible. So I'm just using these jars to then stick these jars into my freezer so that I can use something. I'm not using a plastic thing that then has to be tossed. I wanted to try to do as little waste as possible. So I do end up putting, these are 4-ounce jars, and I'm putting about 2 ounces worth of liquid in each one of them. And each one of these jars is about 2 servings. So I've been really enjoying these. I take 2 jars out of the freezer at a time. They take about 20 minutes to thaw at room temperature. And then 1 jar is about 2 servings worth. It's about as much as you want to kind of drink at one time. And I'm reusing lids that I have canned with previously. You can see that there's some writing on these lids. No need to use a brand new lid because we're not canning these. We can just reuse lids. So the lids and the jars, I just ran through the dishwasher one time before I went ahead and poured our juice into them. So I'm getting these on a cookie sheet just merely because it's easier to carry these out to the freezer by doing it this way. And that is our ginger tonic all done. And like I said, I am loving this. I've been enjoying these almost every day and I just really like it. So here is the second batch. This is half turmeric, half ginger. And I think I ended up having to do 2 batches because I had so much. And just if you do this, just be warned, ginger and the turmeric stain. I have 2 dish towels now that are nice and bright yellow on them because of this, but it was worth it. I just know that if I'm going to do this again, I will make sure I use ratty dish towels to clean things up with. And then we are going to do the same thing with the turmeric ginger as we do with just the ginger. And this nut bag worked perfectly because it's such fine mesh. I was able to get so much liquid out and not any of the pulp. I really didn't want the pulp in my shots. I didn't think it would be good texture or anything like that. So I'm just going to squeeze this out as much as possible. So this here is where I think I ended up with stating a few items is I got it all over my cutting board and I take a towel and I wipe my cutting board off. Now I did not wash enough jars, 4-ounce jars, I should say. So I need to find a way to store this liquid. So I am going to just put it in this quart jar. And then when I wash more jars, I will then transfer this turmeric ginger juice from this quart jar into my 4-ounce jars. Now my pockets are done and they turned out beautiful. I am so excited and I'm happy to share that recipe with you. It's just a fun, nostalgic recipe that I enjoyed making with you and we enjoyed eating. So here is the last of the ginger turmeric tonic that I am squeezing out. Like I said, I do have a written recipe for fire cider, which is an infusion where you cut up ginger and turmeric and all sorts of things. Mine is a spiced one, so it has cinnamon and clove and pepper. I don't add onions and garlic to mine because I don't like the flavor of it, and I like drinking fire cider. And you infuse it with raw apple cider vinegar and you can drink that. You can take that as a shot or you can put it in water in the summer when I'm gardening. I love drinking fire cider in my water, and I think that this would be really good in my water too in the summer. But because I don't really like lemon water, I know that's super popular. A lot of people love lemon in their water. That's not my favorite, but I like putting fire cider in my water. And I also think that this would be really good in my water this summer. So I'm going to try to keep this on hand at all times because like I said, I got a head cold and it was so nice having this for that and just to drink. I'm going to go see if I can talk Josh into, well, I know he's going to enjoy this because it's good. But I'm going to see if I'm going to talk him into trying our tonic or shot or whatever you want to call it. You might be able to hear them working, but Josh is here and he's going to do a taste test. Now I've got 3 things for you to taste test. Do you want to start with the shot first? The
shot?
Yeah, so we've got, it's a ginger turmeric shot or a ginger shot or do you want to start with lunch? Do you want to get the shots over first?
Probably, well, which one's is the shot going to destroy my palate? Actually, it might cleanse it.
It might cleanse it. Yeah, it's going to cleanse your palate. So mine is the ginger lemon. Yours is turmeric. So let's cheers.
Cheers. It smells strong.
It smells good to me.
That hits you.
Woo!
It's good.
It's spicy. You know, I think the one in the airport, does it have honey in it, or is it just ginger and turmeric?
It must have honey because there's
Let me taste that one.
a sweetness component.
Ooh, it burns. I like it. I really like it. Ooh, this one is earthier for sure. Oh, I like the ginger one better.
This one
Whew.
burns more immediately on your tongue.
Yeah.
Versus that one's kind of in the throat.
This one's very earthy. Turmeric is not necessarily my favorite flavor, so I probably shouldn't have made so much of it. I will drink all of this, but the ginger is good. Okay, so now I'm gonna have you taste the lunch. I think you're gonna like this. So I've never made this for you. This is something I used to make in college. So I don't know if you knew, but in high school I took a home ec class, and we made these in home ec for the first time. So this is croissant dough with chicken, chives, cream cheese, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder.
Wow. Like I said, I just got a bite of pastry, but the croissant dough, it's hard to go wrong
I
with
know,
that.
it's hard to go wrong
It's
with.
pretty sweet.
Oh. It's good.
That's really good.
It's hot. Perfectly cooked.
Tastes great.
Good.
Can I take this with me?
You can eat that whole thing.
Sweet.
So this is gonna be our lunch. I ran out of jars for freezing. I have more of them, I just don't have them washed. So that is why I went ahead and I put the turmeric one in these quarts. I'm gonna stick that in the fridge. My dishwasher's full. So I'm gonna sit down and eat lunch. I'm gonna empty my dishwasher, load my dishwasher with the rest of the 4-ounce jars that I have so that I can get this in there, and I wanna get these in the freezer ASAP. To freeze in glass, you just wanna make sure you give plenty of headroom, and it's best to freeze in wide mouth. Even though these are regular mouth lids, it's technically a wide mouth jar because the sides of it come straight up. It doesn't taper at the top. So these are gonna freeze just fine. I am so thrilled with this. When I make this again, I probably will only make the ginger one. I won't make the ginger turmeric one, even though turmeric has a lot of health benefits. I probably should have put some black pepper in it because I think for turmeric to really release all the health benefits, you need black pepper, but I didn't do that. And I don't think I'm going to. But if I make it again with turmeric, I will add black pepper. But I like the flavor of this one. And so I'll probably make it with just ginger again. So it's really good. So I am going to eat lunch, get the dishwasher going, and then I'm gonna send this off to the mail. I gotta go return some things at the UPS store, so I'll take this and I'll get this shipped off. I'm super curious to see how that goes. I will let you know and I will keep you updated to see how it goes. And if you're interested in that soil test kit, I can link it down below, along with a video on how to do it if you're interested in that. So thank you, friend, for hanging out with me as we made a childhood favorite meal. We made a nice tonic and we did some soil testing. I'm really excited to see the results on that. And I think that this is going to make me a more informed gardener. I'm gonna be able to make good choices when it comes to amending my soil versus guessing. Because the last 3 years when I put fertilizer in my soil, it was total guess. I would buy a random thing of fertilizer and I would put it in the ground, and hopefully I was adding the correct nutrients. And so now we will hopefully be able to be more informed. So I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being along the journey. Thank you for being you. If you enjoyed this video, I can pop a couple of my other videos here. You can go enjoy between now and my next upload. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.